Anyway, to get back to water, I went real sidetrack. Sorry about that, guys. Water, if you have it, it's fantastic. If you don't, you need to create areas on your property where anytime that it rains, you are collecting that water. So, in Africa, they're basically digging, holes, a couple of feet deep, so that when water does flow, it'll settle there and it'll soak in. You need to do that kind of thing on your property to help bring the moisture back into your property. That's what swales are about. You're holding the water as it's flowing, stopping it from just running off your property so that it has time to come in. And no, I don't have merch yet. That's something you need money to buy merch, guys. Okay. And that's not where I'm at with this. So, the more you guys support me, then hopefully soon I'll be able to have, hats and t-shirts and stuff like that, for you guys to grab onto. Um, the more you can slow that water down from just flowing off your property, the more you can have that water penetrate, you're going to be amazed at what can happen on your property and around your property, okay? Because it's going to benefit everybody. As your property fills up, it's just going to spread out. That's where these people have had rivers come back, that have been dried up for decades. They've had them come back. Okay. So biology stuff, like stuff for the soil. Without that moisture, you can't have the biology. The biology needs those billions of molecules of moisture to have in each cell. Without that, it's not going to be able to produce cells. You're not going to be able to grow plants. You're going to have plants that are, instead of being 10 feet tall, are only going to be 2 feet tall, because the moisture wasn't there for the biology to build the cells, and so your plant's stunted. That's where being aware of the water that's on your property, the more you can capture, the better. There's a lot less watering. Okay, so if you're capturing the water on your property and it's being stored in your soil structure, there's a lot less watering that you're going to have to do. So, and if you're in a city and you're paying for water, the less you got to pay, the better off you're going to be, right? It all is a system that can come together with understanding and knowledge. That's where, get Gerald Pollock's book, The Fourth Phase of Water. Actually, guys, this is a gentleman that is committed to helping people. He literally, instead of, having this as a scientific digest or book for the scientific field, which is, $200 or $300 for, different professors to buy, he self-published with him and his son. They've set up their own publishing so that they could keep the book inexpensive so that we can all benefit. So, if you have the availability, and Gerald Pollock has been on our podcast several times. He goes on a lot of different podcasts. You can just, type his name into YouTube, watch some of his stuff. It's absolutely amazing what he has discovered, with water, with this EZ water. Okay, so energized water is wonderful. The other thing is crystals formed from water molecules. Hey, Dr. Levy, crystals are a fantastic energy source that is stable in a soil system. So if you can get some crystals and keep them energized, you can actually put them into your garden. You put them in a flower pot, and you're actually in over time will see the difference. If you do a side by side of experiments, it's amazing. They're an energy storage device. Okay, they're starting to look at water molecules and putting them into computers because you can write information on a molecule of water. This is how phenomenal the potential of water is, where we're just discovering this or rediscovering it. The availability of information you put on one molecule of water far surpasses the highest computer systems that we have. And then draw that memory out of the water. To give you an example, a skin cell has your complete genetic code embedded into that skin cell. So how many skin cells do you have? How many cells in your body? Because they're all the same. They all have your complete genetic information in that cell, held in the water molecules. What else is in that water molecule? All your biology. Is the evolution of our species in there? I don't know. Nobody does, because we haven't been able to read it. But then we're just figuring out how to read DNA and RNA. If the biology transfers information, genetic information between each other, and this is something that Dr. James White found when he was doing his research on horizontal gene transfer, seeing biology moving information around, genetic information, where we've just been able to access that. They've been accessing it for trillions of years or billions of years or however many years you want to see life on this planet. All that water has that memory. Is in that water the complete genetic code of our entire planet for everything that's available, that was and is going to be developed in the future? Or the dinosaurs, is their DNA in a drop of water that's sitting in the ocean somewhere? Water transfers that energy, transfers that knowledge in between itself. The cleaner our water, when we get rid of the bad stuff that's in our water, it's amazing to see life that hasn't been seen in an area all of a sudden come back into that area. Where did that come from, guys? Where did a crab that hadn't been seen in an area for 30, 40, 50 years all of a sudden come back out of nowhere, where these crabs weren't in the local environment, and all of a sudden they came back? Don't underestimate Mother Nature. She has a lot of stuff that we are on the cusp of understanding as the scientific availability of the machines to read this stuff becomes available. Right now, I like to say, the conspiracy theories that I was looking at, 20, 30 years ago, okay, have all come to reality and scientific reality. And it's like, oh, I got to look for new conspiracy theories here.